It's been quite a day in the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping case that we are all watching closely. Of course, Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old grandmother and mother of Savannah Guthrie, a rather famous host of a major network show, has been missing. We're in our second week. It's been about 10 days. And today, the FBI released some screenshots and some videos of someone who I believe is a suspect, though they did not go that far as to say that. But a lot has been happening. We now have a real opportunity to help solve this case. Let's talk about it. This video contains mature themes and discussions intended only for adult audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello there, my friend. Welcome back to another true crime conversation with me, Gavin Fish. So grateful that you would join me. So grateful that you would do so from wherever you are in the world. And I only ask just one little thing. I actually ask a lot of you guys, but this one thing is to tell me in the comments where you're joining me from. I don't know. It's like Romper Room. I love to just check out where you guys are from. We got people from all over the place. I expect to see maybe Brazil tonight, New Zealand, South Africa, Argentina. I'm hoping my home away from home. And so tell me in the live chat, and welcome if you're joining in the live stream or if you are part of the rewatch crew here on YouTube or on Spotify. Thank you very much for joining. Okay, today we are continuing our coverage, and we've been covering this case since it broke. This is 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. Nancy is the mother of Savannah Guthrie. Savannah is an attorney and a co-host of the Today Show on NBC. We have wondered, many of us anyway, have wondered, was her mother targeted because of her fame and their fortune? I don't know the answer to that. At the press conference, we were told by the FBI that there's no indication that that is the case, but who knows at this point. But Gavin, you're burying the lead. Stop burying the lead. Today, FBI Director Kash Patel on his X account released, to my count, 6 photos that were recovered from Nest. And we're going to talk a little bit about how these were recovered, because the last time we heard from Sheriff Nanos, the Pima County Sheriff out there in the Tucson area, they had asked for anything from that video camera, and that stuff was unable to be downloaded, according to the sheriff. I want you guys, as we're looking at these photos, to pay close attention to see the body shape, the eyebrows. I think there's a mustache. I think, and it's really hard because this will have been shot at night, which means infrared, which means, the camera has to interpret what it's seeing through software. But it does look to me like dark eyelashes. It looks like a mustache. But take a close look at, to me, this looks like a male. I think we do see a mustache there underneath the ski mask. This is a better shot of the size and shape of our suspect here. Looks to be wearing a zip up. I called it a quarter zip in my short earlier today, but it looks like it's a full zip. Maybe a fleece sweater of some sort. Wearing a backpack. I can't tell if that's a strap across the chest of the backpack or if that is a design in the sweater. I'm sure that investigators are hard at work trying to figure out these things. Looks to be wearing khaki pants, some sort of outdoor shoe. Let's see. Here's another shot. It's not quite as good, but there it is. Last one right here kind of shows us the height. I imagine that that entryway is probably around 8 feet. That arch is probably around 8 feet. Somebody who's good at measuring bricks, chime on in and tell us what you think that height is. I do not think that person is 6 feet tall. I think that person is probably 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", right around in there, kind of a stocky build. And here are some of the videos that were released. We can take a look at. Looks like he's aware of the Ring camera, of course, or the Nest camera, of course. It's a giant white camera, right? Like, it's pretty obvious. I don't know that that tells us anything. Oh, now there is a view of the backpack too. Let me pause this here real quick and come on back to what about there? There's a view of the backpack. I'm sure investigators are trying to figure out what that backpack is. You can see down in the bottom corner the doorknob to her security door. I'll continue this. Looks to be a slightly heavy-set guy. Kind of stocky. Looks like he doesn't quite know what he's doing. He's grabbing, we'll go to the next video here. He's grabbing like vegetation from the front yard, like he's trying to cover up the camera and not necessarily disable or take the camera. And then the third and final video that was released today, at least up until we came on live, is this, kind of showing how he walks. Now notice that he is carrying a gun. He is bent over. He's looking down. I think he's just looking down. It does look like he has some sort of flashlight, maybe even in his mouth. I was noticing from the photos, right? Is he holding a flashlight in his mouth or not? But I have posted these on Facebook. You can go to Director Patel's account on Twitter. They're everywhere. We've posted them everywhere. But in the live stream, I am hoping to read your comments on what you think might, who is this person? This photo that we're looking at right now, kind of, you can see that the zipper has some piping on it of some sort. And yeah, I think that black stripe going across is not part of the backpack. I think it's part of his jacket or sweater that he is wearing. Let's see, before we go over into a couple of other articles that I want to check out on, let's see what you guys are saying over here on the old live chat. Where are you guys coming in from? Rainy San Jose says, Emmy, frequent correspondent. Glad you were here, Emmy. Let's see, Austin, Texas, windows open all day. How about, who else we got here? It looks like Autumn is having a hard time with YouTube right now, but so is Mooney. So hopefully our moderators don't have to work too hard tonight. Made it all the way from Canada. Glad you are here. Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Thank you very much for being here. England. Glad you're here, carrots and all other veg. It's good to see you. Missouri, Oregon. In England, usually Wales. I'm glad. Either way, you're in the United Kingdom. Glad you're here. Eastern Kentucky is here. Oregon, Saskatchewan, Alabama, Farmington, Calgary. Gavin, why don't you say friends and not friend? Because, Emmy, I am speaking to you. You are my friend. Albuquerque, South Lake Tahoe, Puebla, Mexico, Banks, North Carolina, Massachusetts, Northeast Georgia, Doylestown, PA, Oregon, Staffordshire is in the house, Colorado, Wisconsin, Philly, Delco, Ohio. Thanks, guys, for checking in. Thank you very much. Lisa's jumping the gun, and I don't mind it. Does anybody know why the FBI is in Annie's neighborhood? We're gonna just get into some of the coverage of that here in just a second. See what other comments we got going on here. Lucifer says, Gavin, I saw a U-Haul parked near my place today with Arizona plates. I'm in Saskatchewan. Very far away, but it gave me pause. Yeah, I think we're all kind of on the what is the word that I am looking for, guys? Guys, I'm missing a word here. Ugh. It's a brain fart. Yeah, the point of the brain fart is graphic is to give me time to think of the word, and yet I haven't. We're all on edge. Let's just say it that way. We're all a little on edge, and we should be. We should be looking. We should be paying attention because she could be anywhere. And that's what Savannah Guthrie said on her Instagram a couple days ago. Please just keep your eyes open. Mira vos joining us from La Argentina. Thank you for being here. So cool. Dagmar says weapon is in front of crouch area. I think what you mean is crotch area. Let me scroll through here and find the picture where you can see it best. You can see it in this one. He's got a holster hanging right in front of his crotch, right underneath his hand there. Let's see if there's a better picture here. You can see it better here. It almost looks like his hand is grabbing it at this point. And that honestly looks like a long barrel weapon, which to me, and I'm not an expert here, guys. I do own guns. I do train with guns. But that to me looks like some sort of Luger, maybe a 22 caliber or something like that. I don't think it's long enough to have something like a suppressor or something on it, but that, who knows? Who knows? Let's see if there's any. I will be on Josh Ritter tomorrow, Emmy. So tomorrow at 8 o'clock, I will be on with Josh. Kim says, I've not been on here forever, forgot how to get your attention. Yeah, I got to put the GF in there, right? Loving the hair. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go over and check out a couple of things that have been reported in the last few minutes. Join me, if you will, Javi, over at, Javi. You know what we forgot to do? We forgot to open the files. So everybody just take a look at this guy for a second while I get the files open, okay? There we go. Okay, we've got a couple of reports from CNN and from NBC. This is from CNN's Brian Stelter, saying that technical expertise from Google helped obtaining images, source says. You guys know how much I love unnamed sources. So dumb, but okay. Tuesday's breakthrough in the Nancy Guthrie case came in large part thanks to technical expertise provided by Google, a person familiar with the investigation told CNN. Google, which owns Nest, was able to recover data from the Nest-made doorbell camera at Guthrie's front door. The recovery process took several days and was so technically complex that investigators didn't know whether it would be successful, the source said. Nest has not yet commented. FBI Director Kash Patel said the government has been working closely with our private sector partners to recover imagery from the cameras at Guthrie's home. Investigators sent a search warrant to Google for the Nest cameras at the Guthrie residence last week, the source added. Such a move is common in criminal investigation. But Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos initially said there was no video available because Guthrie had no subscription to Google's video recording service. That's why it is notable that, as Patel put it, some video was recovered from residual data located in back-end systems. Now, I am no expert in data recovery. It is not my thing, but I do know how computer files are stored, and I know how they are deleted and purged. And I imagine that it took a lot of computing power to find the necessary headers and footers and file information and restore those back. So I don't when I read this, I didn't immediately say BS. I immediately thought, yeah, that sounds about right. You know, you gotta, I mean, the database structure for the size of company that Nest is part of Alphabet. Just the database structure, trying to find that is once it's been deleted, or I'm sure that was very difficult indeed. I wonder if we're going to get more. I feel like law enforcement, as they become more and more desperate, do tend to leak out more information, so we might get more. Also reported from CNN, let's see. You zoom up on here. Absence of gear in photo could have a couple explanations, according to an FBI agent. Yeah, well, you guys know I'm a professional quibbler, so actually, that looks like a different image because I can't see the gun. I wonder if they used AI to take that away. Yeah, they blurred the face and such. But okay, all right. An image shared by FBI Director Kash Patel shows the subject in the video recovered from the doorbell cam. That is missing a lot. The face, the gun. I think CNN has been pretty liberal in their use of AI. You know, who am I? Doesn't matter. Okay, the FBI shared several videos and photos of a person who approached Nancy Guthrie's home and appeared to tamper with a doorbell camera. While I read this, I'm going to keep playing the video so you guys can see it. But one photo shared by FBI Director Kash Patel appears to show the masked individual not wearing a backpack or holster, contrasting other images that do show gear. Have I missed that image? Is that the deal? Let's go over to X and go to the FBI director's page. Let me just see. I have not seen any photos. Here, I'm gonna bring you over to the website here. This is from the FBI director's page. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then I think those are, oh, okay. I'm missing some. Here we go. That is okay. Wow. I thought there I was accusing CNN and I needed to look in the mirror. That's what needs to happen. Okay. So no backpack, no gun, no eyeballs, it appears. Kind of crazy. But okay. All right. Let's go back to here. I'm going to keep showing these videos here. Let me go back to the report. Okay. There could be a couple of possibilities for why this photo appears to be different, and we don't have timestamps to figure out the timeline of when these photos were taken, correspondent and former FBI agent Josh Campbell said. It's possible that if this individual is around the home for quite some time and wanted to do some kind of form of reconnaissance up to the doorway itself, Campbell said, obviously walking up there without a brandished firearm that you could see would certainly be less threatening. So maybe that image did come from a different time. Let's look at that image again right here. And I will back it out a little bit so we can get the full view. So yeah, maybe that is from earlier in the evening. No backpack, no gun. Gloves are on though. It also kind of looks like he's got booties on his shoes, doesn't it? Does it look like there are booties on the shoes? Let's look at the other photos. Oh, I do have that photo. Okay. All right. Let's look at the other photos. No, they just look like light colored shoes. It's really hard to tell. This one shows, I mean, you can see like a mustache and a beard, like the soul patch part of the beard in this photo. Let me zoom up on that. We can take a closer look. Let's see. Doesn't that look like a pretty tightly shorn mustache and beard? It's hard to tell. There's a better picture of the firearm, and there's the picture of the shoes. They look like they're just white tennis shoes. Come to think of it there. All right, let me bring this back to the regular size here. Yeah. Bring that right there, snap it in there so we can see the whole thing. Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So that image, that it's this one that where there's no backpack, there's no gun, but still gloves, still a mask. Very interesting. Okay, next article I want to share with you is good news coming out of CNN. Says officials see an uptick in calls after release of images showing person at Nancy Guthrie's door. Officials are seeing an increase in calls after the FBI released images of a person at Nancy Guthrie's front door the night she disappeared, the Pima County Sheriff's Department told CNN's Jake Tapper. Investigators are combing through leads as they continue to search for Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother. So that is good news that more leads are coming in. By the way, if you have seen something or if you recognize kind of the way this guy walks, right? This was the way it was in the whole Monique and Spencer Teppy case, right? We had a low-grade video of a man walking. If you recognize this guy by his gait, by his canter, by the way he holds himself, maybe by the backpack or the sweater, or the jacket, or maybe even somebody with a gun, it's not a long gun, but a long barrel pistol with a white holster. That might be a tip that you want to send in if his body looks sort of like that, right? Let's see if we. Yeah, it looks to have really dark eyelashes, almost like he's wearing mascara. I wouldn't imagine that he is, but I mean, it might be. Who knows? That kind of backpack, yeah, we need to keep our eyes open for that and give those tips when we can. And then the last piece of information I brought for you is law enforcement has been seen searching in Annie Guthrie's neighborhood. This just happened a couple hours ago. Law enforcement officers were seen today searching the Tucson neighborhood of Annie Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie's sister, where their 84-year-old mother spent the evening before her disappearance on February 1st. The officers could be seen looking in the brush and in the residence, in a resident's backyard shed. Some officers were overheard asking neighbors for security camera video. I am no expert. Maybe they've got parallel investigations going, right? Maybe they suspect that sadly, I'm not saying this is the case. This is all speculation, but that her body was placed somewhere. Or maybe they're looking for other video that could show who this person is, the car and everything. Oh, that reminds me. Now, there was video of a car at the Circle K. I wonder if the car at the Circle K is connected. Did that guy have a backpack? Did the driver have a sweater like that? I'm very, very curious about that. Let's see. Let's bring up Nancy's photo one more time. I want to check in. Sunny Buns, did you see the colorized version of these? No, I have not. Let's see if I can find them real quick. Colorized version of Guthrie suspect photos. I mean, unless they were using like Photoshop to colorize, I have not seen them. I don't see them. Not easily. Yeah, they might use facial recognition. Emmy says those shoes are Merrell. Okay. You think that's an Ozark Trail backpack? I wonder. Um, some have surmised that it would take two people to move her. I would imagine, guys. I'm gonna bring this video up again, not to celebrate our perp, but to try to identify him. But yeah, I would imagine it would take more than one person. Let's see. Courtroom Confidential said that a SWAT truck pulled out hours after the video was revealed. Is it possibly Savannah's ex-husband? And it looks like it's a lone person, not cartel. You know who would be able to tell if that was Savannah's ex-husband by the way he walks, the way he's shaped, would be Savannah Guthrie. And I'm sure that she has a lot to say. Emmy says, I don't know if I should advertise, but later Joel from Surviving the Survivor will have Brian Enton on. I did see that. I'm excited for Joel and Brian to do that Q&A. Monica, welcome from Santa Rosa. I do love Santa Rosa. Okay. All right. Luigi. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back after having to restart my computer to, I just had some sort of weird crash and not sure exactly why that happened, but we are going to continue our coverage here. I just need to open up a couple more things that I didn't quite get ready before I tried to resume. Hopefully some of you will still be sticking around. Let me bring this up. Let's see. Okay. Let's see if our live chat is going to work. It is. Good. Thank you very much. I think I don't think it was YouTube's fault. I think it's Javi's fault. I really do. Javi needs to fall on his sword. That is funny. Okay, let me just bring up a couple more things so that we have it ready. And we got to have our 3 questions, right? Got to have 3 questions. Okie dokie. Hopefully you guys are hearing me fine and everything is working just fine. I think what I was doing was going through your comments and I was about to get into 3 questions. So let's see if anything, check out his eyebrows. Do they look groomed? It's so hard to tell. Adeline's like, I thought my internet was messed up. No, it was Javi. Javi tripped over a cord. It's pretty funny. Libu, welcome from Brazil. Tanya saying, me asking questions while he's gone. Didn't they say the floodlight was broken in the backyard? There has to be 2 subjects if so. Okay. Beach Fairy says, saw people saying it looked like the sister-in-law, but I didn't know what, or the brother-in-law maybe, son-in-law, but I didn't know what he looked like. When I Googled him, pics of his band came up and I actually thought he looked more like the son-in-law's bandmate. Yeah, to me, he doesn't look like the son-in-law at all. And then Autumn sent me the video someone made in color. Thank you, Autumn. I appreciate that. Beach Fairy, the same big eyes, slightly far apart, the unusual eyebrows, the facial hair. Turns out he has a criminal history of burglary and embezzlement too. Interesting. Mariana says he has distinctive lips. Let's see if we can get where we can see kind of his lips there. Kind of, sort of. Yeah. It's a balaclava. Is the balaclava the instrument that they play in Russia? Let your bala like it. That's not the balaclava. Well, my guitar wants to sing. Let your bala like. I can't remember the name of that instrument. In my opinion, says I think this is a female. You do? To me, does not look female. But again, what do I know? Right? I know as much as you do. To me, it looks like that looks like a male, kind of a square male body. But that's just me. A balaclava. It's the mask. I see what it's called. What is the Russian instrument? I'm going to look this up. This is a bit of a tangent. It's true. It's a bit of a tangent. The Russian instrument is called a balalaika. It's a balalaika, everybody. Heading on back over to here. Let's see if we can keep this going. Let's keep your comments going. Let's see what you guys are saying. Balalaika, Mariana knows. Don't you remember? Yeah, he had a balaclava. That's right. That's right. Definitely has a mustache. I heard SWAT teams left the police station. Any updates there? Let's see if there are any updates, live updates on NBC. Nothing in the last 45 minutes. So not on NBC. Let's see on CNN. Live updates. Neighbor of Annie Guthrie says law enforcement asked to inspect the outside of the property 7 minutes ago. From CNN, Lorenzo Jensen, a neighbor of Nancy Guthrie's daughter, Annie, said law enforcement came by today and asked to look around the outside on his property. Jensen lives behind Annie's property, which he said he didn't know was hers until recently. The only other time law enforcement came to his house was about 5 or 6 days ago when FBI agents were canvassing the neighborhood and asked if he'd heard anything. So it just appears that they are in Annie's neighborhood. One more thing I could read off of CNN. The thick desert foliage and secluded lots in the neighborhood where Nancy Guthrie lives makes it difficult for many people's cameras to capture the street, said Jeff Lamy, her neighbor. Quote, the lots are approximately an acre, but not only are they large, but as you noted, the foliage, the cactus, etc., the scrub, it's very dense, he told CNN's Jake Tapper. Our camera, for example, captures the front of our yard, but not the roadway, just because of the distance. So it captures a courtyard and nothing beyond that, and that's not atypical. The neighborhood is considered very safe, and there were often people jogging or walking their dogs at 10 or 11 p.m., he said, adding this incident is a very unusual occurrence. So yeah, no update on SWAT. Chrissy says, my husband thinks it looks like the suspect may have a mask over his face, like a fitted one. Oh yeah, those masks. I wonder. It looks like he's holding a flashlight in his mouth on this one, though. So I don't know. Well, it's hard to tell. Those masks are pretty impressive. So who knows? Penguin, a balalaika, yeah. Let your balalaika play while my guitar wants to sing. Yeah, I grew up. That was a slow song at school dances that I always wanted to hear. I was a slow dance guy. I like slow dancing. That's a tangent, but I've had enough interruptions. We don't need to do that anymore. Guys, let us go. Oh, man, except I need to open up because things have crashed here. Let me just open up something else. This is like the worst live stream I've ever done, but we're going to get it. Let's move on to headlines.
True crime headlines.
Okie dokie. Now, I think what's going to happen here is I'm going to come over to Acrobat and it's not going to show up. So let me just fix this real quick. Hit OK. Might as well do that for this one too. You guys are so patient with me today. What What a weirdness. Gremlins in the old system. Okay. A couple of headlines that I want to share with you today. Wanted to circle back to Nick Reimer. This was written by OK. It was published on AOL. I don't think it's anything earth-shattering or groundbreaking. I think we all kind of feel like this is the case, but this came out yesterday. Nick Reiner's horrifying attack on his parents, we should say alleged attack, might involve more than just mental illness. The latest episode of Two Angry Men podcast suggests that methamphetamine could have played a significant role in the tragic events leading up to their deaths. In a recent segment, hosts Harvey, this must be a TMZ thing, right? And Mark Garagos explored the drug culture surrounding Exposition Park in downtown LA, where Nick was arrested. They interviewed locals about their experiences with the area's rampant substance abuse. One individual boldly claimed Exposition Park is a drug den where users can get anything they want, including meth. This eyewitness also noted that Nick seemed familiar. The details surrounding the murders of Rob and Michelle Reimer are chilling, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so anyway, people in the park saying they think they recognize Nick Reiner. I always do that. And that methamphetamine probably had something to do with this. That's something that we've already talked about, but that I thought I'd bring that to you. And then lastly, Luigi Mangione's lawyers, he had an outburst after a hearing, just a couple of days ago? And now his lawyers are saying, let's keep the federal trial date the way it is. So Luigi Mangione's lawyers formally notified the judge in his federal trial set to begin on September 8th that his state trial has been moved up to June 8th. Mangione's attorneys say they want the federal trial date to stay on track despite the state trial being moved up. Mangione is being tried in both courts for the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. In a letter filed with the federal court on Monday, the defense said a judge set the state trial to begin weeks earlier than prosecutors originally requested. Prosecutors previously asked the state trial to begin on July 1, but the state judge moved it up to June 8. Meanwhile, jury selection for the federal trial is set for September 8th, with opening statements starting on October 13th. Mangione's lawyers previously said July 1 was unreasonable because they needed the rest of the year to prepare for the federal trial. They've changed their tune. The defense doesn't want the earlier trial date to delay or disrupt the federal proceedings, according to the letter. Defense attorneys emphasized the federal court has consistently made it clear that its trial would start in 2026. The schedule was discussed publicly in court and widely reported, but state prosecutors didn't flag any concerns, the letter said. So anyway, they're not fighting it. They think that that's a good idea for some reason. Maybe I'll talk to Josh about this tomorrow. Ask him about that because it's a very interesting turn of events. Anyway, those are your headlines.
True crime headlines.
You know what? I just realized I did it out of order. I'm supposed to do the 3 questions first to give you guys time to answer your the same questions. Dang it. I've got this live stream has just got me all in a kerfuffle, and I apologize. But anyway, let's get on to 3 questions.
It's 3 questions with Gavin Fish.
All right, guys, you know the rules. In this segment, I answer your questions. Everything is on the table. Inversely, nothing is off the table. Is that inversely or conversely? I think it's inverse. I think that's the inverse. It doesn't matter. Nothing is off the table. Everything is on the table. Any question that you have for me, I will answer. I will do so to the best of my ability. I would ask that you leave religion and politics out of it. Having said that, because this is not a religious or political show. But having said that, if you ask the question, I guess I am honor bound to answer it. But let's keep them fun, can we? Let's keep them fun. All right. Question number 1. Did you ever play hooky from school? Guys, listen. My senior year of high school was more like playtime than education time. Okay. I, did not need a single credit of my senior year to graduate high school. I was ready to move on. And so my my schedule was light. Let me tell you what it was, okay? First period, open. Second period, theater. Third period, I was a teacher's aide for a theater class. Fourth period, I was a teacher's aide for my theater teacher's English class. Fifth period was yearbook. Sixth period was open. There was no reason for me to be there, and everybody knew it. And so, yeah. Did I play hooky from school? Yes, all the time. All the time. I did it alone. I did it with friends. And I was just actually talking to my dad about this. Uh, he and I just came to an agreement that if I didn't want to be in school, he would write me a note. Like, don't don't cut, don't, do anything sneaky or underhanded. I'll write you a note. It was that kind of thing. But having said that, listen, I I maintain this. This is a I guess a theme of mine throughout my life. Mean moms are the best moms. Okay, and I say that tongue in cheek. My mom was mean. She's the one who made me go to school. She wanted me to have a senior year. She wanted me to walk in a graduation. She wanted all those things, and she was mean and made me go to school. Now, mean moms are the best moms because it turns out that it was like the best year. It was so great. It was so great. Um, but one of the mean things that my parents did is they wouldn't allow me to get my driver's license unless I earned my Eagle Scout first. My two older brothers had done so. And I hated Boy Scouts. I hated Boy Scouts. And so I just decided that is one thing that I'm not going to do. Therefore, I didn't have a car, nor did I have a license. I didn't get my driver's license till I was 18. However, there were lots of cute girls on campus that didn't need to know that, that had cars. So I did a lot of driving to and from with various female companions in various modes of transportation. Both of the, well, sometimes alone, but both of the 4 and 2 wheel variety. I had so much fun. It's shocking that I lived through my senior year. I, I I was living dangerously and having a real good time doing it. And I have no regrets about it either. Tell me, did you ever play hooky from school? Okay, question number 2. Where were you born and raised? I was born in Salt Lake City, Utah. We lived in Salt Lake City until I was 4. At the age of 4, we moved to Peoria, Utah, up in Summit County, Utah, up in the Uinta Basin, uh, up above up above Salt Lake in the high Rocky Mountains. There, we were there till I was 8. And then we moved to Orangevale, California. That is what I consider my hometown and where I was raised. My parents were kind of rolling stones. They both were born and raised in Utah, and starting right after they got married, Dad got sent off to basic training, and then to tech school, and then to their assignments in the military. And then they went back to college, and then they went all over the place. They actually lived in Northern California, very close to Orangevale in Fair Oaks, uh, up until shortly before I was born, just a couple months before I was born. Then I was born in Salt Lake. So, yeah, I was raised in Orangevale, California. Orangevale, California, by the way, in the 1980s, 1990s, actually all the way to today, is a terrific place. It is a terrific place to have a family, to raise a family. Uh, I had the happiest childhood. When we moved to California, my it was a 5-year plan. My parents were planning on living in California for 5 years. That was 1984. They're still there. But my mom really wanted to be able to visit grandparents and so forth. So we took summer vacations back in Utah. We took winter breaks back in Utah. My grandparents came out to see us. So I had a magical childhood, which was a blend of kind of 1980s suburban Sacramento, California, mixed with a very rural and very outdoor uh, time at Grandpa and Grandma's place. So yeah, I had an ideal childhood. My parents love each other. They love all of us kids. There are five of us. I'm number four or five. They love all of us. They love all of our spouses and partners. Uh, I have an ideal family situation, and I am extremely grateful. My parents did have to. I don't think I was their hardest child, but during that kind of high school age, I'm sure that there was a lot of eyeball rolling and laughing behind closed doors at my shenanigans. So that is me. Question number 3: what is your favorite activity to do with your family? Um, I would probably say, each night we have 5 children. One of them is married and living away. She and her husband, they don't live too far away, but in another state. And then we have 2 adult kids that live in the apartment that we have on the 3rd floor of our home. And we have 2 of our school age children that live in the main part of the home. Every night we do a little bedtime ritual, and it's always in our bedroom. They're we're hanging out on the bed or on the couch or on the floor, and it's just time for us to kind of visit, and that's when we say our nightly prayers and stuff like that, right? So it's this time that we get as a family that's just really a lot of fun. I love that, and the only thing that could make it better is if our daughter and son-in-law were here with us. Is the I love that time. I also love sometimes our adult son. I'll be like in the I don't know in the dining room or something, and he'll come home from work and he'll sit down and we'll just chat. Same thing with our adult daughter. It's so much fun with grown-up kids to just talk about things and listen to what it is that interests them, that concerns them. I guess my favorite family activity is just chatting with my family. And that's true for my the family that I was born into, my parents and my siblings and all of my cousins and aunts and uncles. I really just enjoy hearing the same old stories and laughing about the same things over and over again. I'm a pretty sentimental guy that way. So, yeah. You probably expected me to say like hiking or traveling or not really. No, I just like to hang out. Home is my favorite place, wherever home is. Kimberly and I have lived in, I think, 14 homes in our 26 years of marriage. I think this is number 14. I think. So it doesn't really matter where home is as long as Kimberly is with me, and for this time of our life, the kids too. And yeah, so that's my favorite thing to do with my family. I can't wait to hear what your answers are to this. Let's see if any of you have anything that you want to share. Let me get over here. Uh, let's see. Barb is saying Javier screwed up today big time. You know what, though? He's new, right? Javi, don't even worry about it. It's okay. We will make it through. Jenny says, same here for question number 1. I had like 3 cooking classes, a couple of college courses, and free periods my senior year. I played hooky so much. If I was smart, I would have done college courses. They were available to me. But I just didn't want to. It's funny. I'm glad I'm not alone, Jenny. Mooney says, my senior year was 5 art classes, government and earth science. It was a blast, but of course I played hooky too. Yeah, I had teachers that would be like, hey, Gavin, like my theater teacher, we need to pick up the scrim for next week's show. Do you think you could go do that? And I'd be like, yeah, Mr. S, I could do that. I don't have a car. And he would like toss me his keys. And I'd grab a friend. It was usually like Yola. Like, let's go. And off we'd go. And not only were we like leaving campus, we were leaving the area code. We were going far, far away to pick up that stuff. It's so funny. Carrots and Other Veg says, I know you will all be surprised by this. I never played hooky, not one single day. I loved school in France and Wales. Good for you. Good for you. That was not me, man. Robin says, Gavin, you laugh at your high school shenanigans, but those two littles that you have home may take some notes. Yeah, and I'm very much this way. We have 3 kiddos that we have gone all the way through high school. So we have done this with 3 of them, and I'm very much like my dad on this one. Don't be underhanded. Don't be sneaky. If you need a day off, let me know. That kind of thing. That's the way I am. Let's see. Born in Plovdiv, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, Emmy, Bulgaria, raised in Plovdiv, Malta, and mostly the U.S. World traveler. Adeline says, I was homeschooled, so no playing hooky. Carrots and Other Veg, born and raised in the south of France, moved to Wales for secondary school. Very cool. Very cool. Where in the south of France? I've spent quite a bit of time in France, but it's usually in and around Paris, kind of up into the Alpine area. But I have been to Nice, so I guess I have been to the south of France. Uh-oh. Okay. Gabriela says she is from Cordoba, Argentina. My home away from home, Cordoba, living in Sweden. Gabriela, where in Cordoba? I will tell you my 2 favorite places in the province, okay? Favorite place number 1, Marcos Juarez. I love Marcos Juarez. That is my favorite place. Other than home, it's my favorite place on earth. Number 2 is La Falda. Getting up there into the Cumbres. Oh, yes. I love La Falda. Living in Sweden, how fun for you, and your country, and specifically your province is beautiful. And you know what? In the city, I was in Chacabuco whenever I was in the city. Very cool. Okay. Jenny says, answer number 2, born in southern Florida, raised in upstate New York. My parents moved here when I was 4. Repeatedly have told them they should have left me in Florida because I hate the winter. Well, the winter has been a hard one this year, hasn't it, Jenny? In my opinion, Gavin, I now can see how wrong my guess was earlier. I took a screenshot and blew up the picture, and I can see why I was wrong. No need for any forgiveness at all. Jenny says, I'm 4 of 5 too, 4 brothers. I always wanted a sister, and now I have wonderful sisters-in-law who I consider sisters. That's awesome. Courtroom Confidential just did a quick live. Josh said there were about 4 SWAT trucks that rolled out like 45 minutes ago, give or take. Choppers too. Oh my goodness. Awesome. All right. Diane says, Gavin, maybe once, South Boston, Massachusetts, go for walks. Maybe one time he played hooky. Libu Grizzly is excited that I will be on Courtroom Confidential tomorrow. Indeed, I will be. I'm excited for that too. Haven't seen Josh or Tiff in a while. Libu Grizzly says, I grew up in South Africa and playing hooky was called bunking. I never bunked school, but definitely skipped many classes in my university days in London. This isn't really my story to tell, so I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it. Am I brain farting again? Dang it.
It's a brain fart. Yeah.
Okay, this isn't my story to tell, so I'm going to keep the details sparse. I got it this time. And just say, I know of a guy who immigrated to the UK to go to college at a prestigious England-based university. but he cut so often that his dad said, "Come home, you're in trouble." And he said, "No way," and ran to the United States without a penny to his name, and then built up a business empire as a college dropout. Really cool. Scotch's mom: "I never played hooky, but boy, my sister sure did and got caught. I was born and raised in Cleburne, Texas, 35 miles southwest of Fort Worth." Very cool. Kiki said, "The only time I played hooky was to get caught up on homework." That's funny. Carrots and Other Veg: "In south of France, the Ardèche. It's where my father and his family are from. They still live there. My family, mom, dad, siblings, have a shared house there. It is beautiful." That's cool. Joe says, "I'm dying. I thought you were so straight." Oh, dude, as a kid, I was just nothing but fun. Here is the thing about me, guys. Because of the kind of content that we talk about here, I come across as somebody who's very serious, very conscientious. That is not who I am. I am a absolute nerd, and I love having fun. I love laughing. I am sentimental, but that just means that I love laughing with old friends, right? So, in fact, I'm really, really exciting. Yes, vague. Thank you. Thank you. Mooney, vague was the word I was looking for, but I came up with something else. Yeah. Anyway, Joe says, "We need Gavin on the Billy Bush show. I will recommend him." Please do. I would love to go on Billy Bush. And then Joe says, "Keep growing that hair." I will until I can finally cut it to donate it. That is my plan. Maybe one of these times we need to do a non-true crime, just fun live stream. I don't know. I don't know how that'll go over. But anyway, hey guys, check me out on my website, gavinfish.com. You can contact me there. Always look for us on Facebook. Just search Gavin Fish or search The Fish Tank. You will find us there. That is where I like to hang out. I have been posting quite a lot there lately. Also, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I've been uploading to Spotify. So if you're a Spotify member, if you're a premium video member, you can see the videos over there on Spotify. But it also distributes out to wherever you get podcasts. So you can listen wherever you get podcasts. It's just called The Gavin Fish Show. Look for it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the places. Okay? Yeah. So I guess that's it. Thank you for making this a memorable weird live stream that got interrupted. But thanks for being forgiving of Javi for tripping on that cord. There are lots of cords. That's partly my fault. There are cords everywhere. I've got a very messy office. So thanks for being cool with Javi. Thanks for keeping it classy over there in the live stream. And with that, I shall bid you adieu. Thank you very much, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.